I've lived like this for too long, but now the kitchen's been plastered and painted, I can start laying some flooring. It's a big job and I've got no experience. Welcome back to the channel, I'm Scott and this is laying a limestone floor. I'm a DIYer with very limited experience and the time has come to lay a new floor in my kitchen and hallway. The tiles I've chosen for this project are called Menton limestone, which isn't the easiest tile to lay. And not only that, I've got to lay this stuff in the kitchen and the hallway in just 5 days. Are you going on holiday now, Sid?
No.
See you later. Have a nice time.
Thanks.
And the house should be better than it is now. I've just sent Nicole and Sydney away for 5 days on holiday, and now it's just me and Reese, which is Nicole's dad, and we're going to be basically spending the next 5 days doing everything we can to make this house livable for when Nicole and Sydney get back. The truth is, I was feeling the pressure. Having already put so much work into this floor when I was doing the water underfloor heating, there's no way I could allow myself to mess it up by making a really bad job of the tile laying. Me, my dad and my uncle worked really hard to excavate all of the old flooring away and replace it with a brand new concrete slab, which then needed to be insulated before I could add the water underfloor heating pipes. Unfortunately, I was able to get an expert team of screeders to come in and do the final part, which give us a perfectly level and smooth floor for us to put the tiles on. So the kitchen needs fully tiling, and that same tile is going to go into the hallway as well. I spent the last couple of weeks trying to get the hallway ready so that we're ready to tile. Because the old floor in the hallway was so squeaky, they had to be ripped out and replaced with floorboards that were the same thickness. If I couldn't get the exact same height, the hallway floor would be a different height than the kitchen floor, which would be a nightmare for tiling. There's one more thing that I need to do in the hallway. I need to get it plastered. Because the plasterboard's on and I don't want to get plaster splattered all over my new tiles, I know I could sheet it up, but I just think it's the best way, the best process is just to plaster the walls in the hallway before you get any of these tiles down. Hopefully by the end of the day, ceiling and wall will be plastered and we've started to lay out for all of the tiling we're going to do tomorrow. Let's just see how it turns out. If you saw my last video, you'll have seen that I've been working on the hallway and trying to get it ready for this project. One thing that I didn't realise was that the joists in the ceiling were completely out of shape. And as a result, I needed to amend those joists in the ceiling before I could get the plasterboards on and before I could start plastering. I'm on a serious time limit to get this floor done, so I didn't film any of the joist amendments. I just got on with the project hoping that it would speed things up and I could get this plaster on really quick. You might have also seen in a previous video that I have only just learned how to plaster, and this is the third ceiling I have ever done, and it's turning out really well. One thing is for certain though, DIY jobs take a lot longer than I always expect. Welcome back, it's day 2 and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. This morning I've had to nip out and get a few little bits for the floor, like I've got a nice new wash bucket for all of the grout and I've had to get some primer as well because I've just spoken to a tiling professional who's actually going to turn up today to help me with this project. So that's a nice little surprise. And now it's simply just cleaning up the room, getting rid of any debris on the floor so I can start rolling the primer. There is also the issue of having the huge fridge in the corner that needs to be moved onto the other side of the room because I think we're going to start on that left side. And also the sink is all plumbed in, so that all just needs dismantling and also moving because we're going to tile all the way from edge to edge, and then whatever units, kitchen units, are all going to sit on top. Not only that, I've got to move the oven as well, so a lot of prep work before we can even start laying anything. And the first thing that's got to go down is the decoupling membrane. So let's get cracking. By the end of the day, I want at least half of the room tiled so that I can get everything on the other side of the room back on top of the tiles, which means we've got free space to work and I will be able to see the end of the tiling project. got a special guest on the channel.
Hello everyone.
I saw Jack for the first time actually on Lawn Stripes project.
Yeah.
And since then, like, I met you at an event and we had just like a really cool chat.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Jack that I'm going to be doing this kitchen, and there's like, it's something that I'm willing to battle through and just kind of like learn on the job.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody like yourself who's like, you know, a professional, you do this all the time, it's nice to have you here and just learn a few things along the way.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I'm hoping my audience could learn a few things as well.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
So it's not just me saying what I think is right, it's you as well. So Jack, tell me, like, what are your social media handles? Get these guys to follow you as well.
Yeah, so I'm at Jack the Tiler UK. That's on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I mean, I come from more of a short form background. Obviously today we're going to be presenting more of a long form video to you guys. And as Scott said, you know, we're going to start tackling this floor. We've got a hallway which is just behind you guys. And we're going to be coming out into this like lovely big kitchen area that Scott's been working really hard on. Yeah. I've been watching him. And so it's looking amazing. It's good to see how much it's all come together as well.
Well, I mean, if you say it looks amazing, I see all the little imperfections, you know, but yeah, it's good when other people come round and they can see the work that I've been doing. It's not all just glitz and glam for social media. Yeah. Like, I've really put my heart and soul into this, and I want to make it look good. Yeah. You know. Right, so at the time of filming this, it's 1 o'clock and we haven't laid any tiles yet. We've been doing a lot of talking, but that's okay because we're just taking it as it comes and just doing it properly. So we've primed the whole hallway behind me and the kitchen, but we've only done half of the kitchen because, to be honest, I mean, we've got all of the bulky items over on one side anyway, so it's not like we can do that bit today. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on getting this bit right, getting the layout of the tiles perfect, and then we'll be able to move everything that's on that side of the room over here, and then we'll just kind of crack on tomorrow or maybe even later today. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Because remember, Nicole and Sydney are out of the house, which means I can work all through the night if I need to. Not that I particularly want to. Anyway, so we've got this matting down and it's all cut to shape. The floor is all primed as well. So the next step is to make a mix and start getting that down ready for the matting to go on top. Now, I was talking to Jack and he reckons a 6mm trowel is going to be perfect for getting this matting down. And he also mentioned that we're going to have a sloppier mix too. So something that's basically just going to squash in really nice. So we're going to crack on with that, and hopefully next time I update, we are going to be ready to start laying some tiles. Let's go. This is like the first opportunity Jack has had to show me something really valuable, which is the laying of the adhesive, which the membrane then sits into. The idea is to get it really nice and smooth and level, because when that membrane lies on top, we want to make sure that's really nice and flat. As you can see, we've marked on the floor exactly where we need to spread the adhesive. We don't want too much adhesive on the floor that we're going to walk in it. It's got to be the perfect width of that Detromat, which is the decoupling membrane. Might have laid a bit too much on this. The tiles I'm using for this project are from Stone Superstore, which worked with me on Instagram to make this project happen. And these are 15mm thick limestone. The colour and quality of these are beautiful, but we haven't decided yet how we're going to cut them. I thought we could use the DeWalt cut-off saw because it would be much quicker, but the reality is this made a lot of mess, and not only that, the cut wasn't perfectly straight either, but it was definitely worth a try. Instead, we switched over to a tile wet cutter, which I have left over from a previous project, which was tiling the bathroom upstairs. Having Jack here on the first day gave me lots of confidence. He was showing me how to apply the adhesive to the floor, but not just the floor, the back of the tile as well. Apparently by back buttering the tiles, you can guarantee a full contact, and that apparently is the best way to lay any floor tiles. You might also notice that pen line straight down the middle of the hallway, and we've put that there to give us a guide on where we're going to be placing the ends of our tiles. If we stick to this line, we will be running perfectly parallel to the exterior wall of the house, which means, with a bit of luck, by the time we get to the other side of the room, we should be meeting that wall nice and square, and we shouldn't be running out. But that's reliant on two things. The first being that the house was built square, and the second is that my plasterboarding was plastered square. We started off with the most tricky tile. This is the one that connects the hallway into the kitchen. It's got a cut straight down the middle of a full tile. That's because we're creating an expansion gap. The floor in the kitchen is water underfloor heating, and if you saw my hallway renovation video, you'll know that that's a suspended floor, which means that both subfloors will heat up at different paces, and that will make movement in the floor. And the last thing we want is any of these tiles breaking away from the floor once it's all done. Right, well, we're coming to the end of the standard working day, so it's like 4:45 now, and we haven't done as much as I thought we'd do by this point, but we have been talking, and what we have done, which is behind me, is we've put the first tile in its place. We've worked out exactly how everything's going to line up, and we've got an expansion joint in. But this is the end of the day for Jack. We've been working together to get this all laid out properly, get the matting in, get all the lines in, and you've been passing on some of your knowledge to me about how it all goes together. But to be honest, from my point of view, it's just good to have that feeling that somebody knows what they're talking about. Yeah. And on this project, because most of it has just been me kind of watching YouTube videos and stuff, I've kind of had to guess and see how it works out. With this, obviously I'm not having to guess, I'm just relying on your expertise. Yeah. I just want to say thanks. Scott, honestly, it's been a pleasure. It's really been ace having you here, and hopefully over the rest of the video of me laying this floor, I'm going to kind of impart some of the things that you've said to me along the way. Awesome. And we're just not only me that's learning, but everyone else as well. So thanks for joining us, man.
Nah, man, it's cool. Yeah, been a pleasure.
See you later, man. Scott. No worries. Day 3 on the project, and we need to get some serious work done today. And not only that, it's going to make it so much more difficult that it's like -2 outside, which means everything is frozen. And we plan on using a wet cutter this morning, and the wet cutter, obviously all the reservoir for the water is frozen as well, so we have to pour boiling hot water over everything just to kind of make it usable. It's not going to be nice working out there because of all that mist in the air, especially with it being so cold. So it's going to be a bit of a brutal day, but we need to get this half of the kitchen sorted. Otherwise, we're going to have no kitchen sink, and we definitely need to get started on the hallway as well. Ideally, by the end of the day, we're going to have the hallway and this half of the kitchen done, and we're literally just going to have to power through and just go for it. So let's get on with it and see how well we do. about midday at the time of filming this, and as you can see, we've been getting a load of tiles down. We've got a load more to do. I want to make this nice and brief because we are on a tight deadline to get this finished. But I just want to mention these clips that we've got here, all of the red clips. I wasn't going to use these originally, but when I was in the tile shop yesterday, I decided to pick some up, and I'm really glad that I did. Using these allows to pick the tile up to just make sure that they're perfectly level. It kind of takes out the guesswork. We are finding that there's some inconsistencies with the tiles. These are natural stone tiles, so they're not 100% 90, and some of them aren't quite flat. So we're doing the best we can, and these clips are making it a load easier. Let's get on with the next lot of laying. You can have that if you want. I have a feeling. Oh, it's going to go in perfect, that is. By this point in the project, we've been listening to Magic, the radio station, pretty much the whole day, and I was starting to lose my mind. Got to keep on tiling. Keep on tiling. End of day 3, and let me tell you, it's 9 o'clock and it feels like a long day as well. Putting all of these tiles down has been hard work, let me put it that way. So as you can see, we've got the hallway all clipped up, and that's currently drying, but the floor that I'm standing on now is the main part of the kitchen, the main run where the fridge, freezer and the hob and everything is going to sit. So we're considering right now the process of how we can make this all happen within the time frame that we've got. So if we don't seal these tiles now, it means that we won't be able to grout it tomorrow because the sealant takes 24 hours to fully cure. But our issue is we really need to do a lot more prep work before we start getting that sealant down, because once you've got the sealant down, whatever's under the tile, whatever's on the surface of the tile stays on the surface of the tile. So if we don't prepare it properly, then we're going to be in trouble. It's not going to look very good, and obviously there's no point rushing it if the outcome's not going to be really good. So I think we might have to leave sealant for today and work out a way to move across the kitchen tomorrow, because we want to get the sink back in, we want to get the fridge over, and we just want to start moving the kitchen around so we have some space. Day 4 on the kitchen project, and we are lucky because it's loads warmer today. Nothing outside is frozen, so we can just start cracking on. We don't need to change any wet cutting blades or anything. We've already sealed the floor this morning. So I woke up early, I got the floor sealed because it takes 2 hours for it to set before you can start grouting. And as you know, the issue we've had is that we need to move all of the bulky items in the kitchen around. So we needed it sealed so we can get it grouted and we can move the bulky items onto the floor that's finished. Today, we're going to hopefully get the rest of that hallway finished, and we're going to start getting the matting down, and hopefully, with a bit of luck, we can get the rest of the kitchen tiled. We have learned a lot from the last couple of days, so we might be able to work a little bit faster today. And one extra thing, it's not just me and Reese today, it's my dad and my uncle as well. So we've got more manpower, which means we should be able to turn this round a lot quicker. Realistically, this is our last day to get this tiled because we do need time for grouting, sealing and moving things around the kitchen. This is also a really good opportunity to introduce the actual tile that we are laying. This is Menton limestone and it's tumbled, and I don't know if you can see on the edges, but this stuff is really nice. So it's got that really nice tumbled edge. It's 15 mil thick and they actually have quite a lot of weight in it. So this is a 600 by 400 tile, which means that it's not too big that it's really difficult to move around the kitchen, but it's enough to make it look like a really quite high-end premium size. That's why we've chosen it. And unfortunately you can't feel the surface, but it is slightly pitted, but in a good way. It feels like, I think it's called honed, and because that pitted surface, it feels really natural. It does mean though that it needs to be sealed before grouting, and that means it stops any of the grout going into those little pits in the surface. But this in general is probably one of the nicest tiles that I've ever seen, and I got this from Stone Superstore, who has supplied all the materials for this project. Mixing grout is something I've done a lot of. The patio that I'm stood on now in this video is a limestone patio, but these are much thicker slabs, and I had to do all of the grouting for this patio, and those grout lines were 30 mil deep, and that resulted in a lot of grout mixing. When you're making grout, you want to make it quite thick. If it has too much water, it can be powdery and it can break away once it's in the grout lines. My grout lines are about 15 mil deep and about the width of a pound coin. Because of the natural surface of the limestone having those small pits, as I mentioned earlier, I've decided to pour this grout into the grout lines. This isn't really the typical method, but I wanted to keep the grout as much over the grout lines as possible. Even though these tiles are sealed, it will prevent more grout going over the face of the tiles. Due to the deadline of this project, we did have to sponge this off pretty quick afterwards, and honestly, that's not recommended. By sponging off too quick, you can add too much water to the grout, and that can make it become powdery and eventually break up. Luckily, Reese was able to keep his sponge pretty dry, and we were focusing on just cleaning the tile face. But the main thing is, this area is done, and once the grout is dry, we can move all of the bulky items back. It's that time again and the light is starting to go. It's 4:30 and I'm outside in the working area next to the wet saw, about to get some cuts done. And this is a little bit of an update on today's project, day 4 of the project. We've done more of the hallway, but not all of it. We've started moving across the room in the kitchen as well, but we haven't got as far as we would like to have got at this stage. We're still working on the far 2 runs of the room, and there's quite a few runs left to do. They have been a bit tricky because we've been in doorways, but now I can safely say that we've got one area grouted, which means all of the bulky items like the fridge can go back onto one side of the room, and that means that's all out of the way and we can just really crack on tomorrow. And I'm just gonna keep cutting. I hope we can get this side of the room done, because that'd be a really big weight off my mind for tomorrow. That is the end of day 4, and I feel like we're a little bit behind where we wanted to be. Here are some positives. So we've managed to grout one side of the room and seal it and get all of the bulky items to one side. The downside is we didn't finish the hall and we didn't finish the other half of the kitchen either, which does mean that we can't seal it or grout it, which also means we've got another day of laying tiles tomorrow. And I believe that what we've got left is probably going to take us most of the day. And remember, Nicole, my partner, is back tomorrow evening. So the likely chances now of us getting these down, sealed, grouted, in time for Nicole to come home is very slim. But we have got a little bit more help tomorrow. I think my dad and my uncle, who are here today, are coming back again. And I think we're going to have a gas engineer as well come round, because we need a gas fitting putting in place for the new hob. If we don't have that happen tomorrow, then we will have nowhere to cook. So that is definitely an essential thing, and hopefully the gas engineer turns up. So until then, see you for day 5. It's day 5 on the floor laying project, and at the time of filming this, it's 9 AM. We've already had to go out, we've had to pick up a few bits, and now we're back. Hopefully gonna get a start on the day. We wanted to start a little bit earlier, but sometimes things just get in the way and you just have to roll with it. So today's plan is to get the rest of the kitchen tiled as a priority. We have probably a third of that side of the room done, so what you could say is a quarter of the entire kitchen, and it still needs to be tiled. We've been into some of these alcoves at the back and around that door behind me, so that should actually make things a lot easier today. There is a little bit left to do in the hallway as well. We've been down the majority of the hallway, it's just the end bit that needs doing. If we can get around to that, we will do, but I would always say the priority is to get the kitchen done, get it sealed, grouted, and then hopefully get it sealed again, all before Nicole arrives home at probably around 7 PM tonight. So we've got our work cut out for us, and we're literally just gonna get it done. Let's get to it.
I'm not throwing a tantrum, this is the best way to get these clips out. You kick them along the grout line and they just snap out. I honestly have no idea how people do this day in, day out, full time, and earn a living from it. I have massive respect for tile layers. It is really hard on the body, your knees and your lower back. Although I wasn't always using the knee pad, I did use it a lot and it was still hurting. Even the tile adhesive gets stuck to your clothes and that's sharp. And by the end of this, I was really hurting.
We are finally on to the very last tile. That's it. One more tile, 2 more tiles actually. 2 more tiles to go, and they're both cuts. One's a key cut around a door, but then it's finally done and we can start sealing. We can start clearing the surface. So we've got to clean the stone first, then seal, then we can start grouting. Oh, it's absolute perfection. As always.
The D-bolt grabber made this project a lot easier. It allows us to position the tiles much easier. And then once all of the tiles were down, we had to clean out those grout lines. We wanted to make sure there was no adhesive sticking up that would affect the grout that we're going to put in next. The gas engineer turned up and he was going to help us install this unbelievably beautiful Rangemaster cooker. This is the one that I went to the factory to see and choose. It's the Elise Lux in slate and brass. It is stunning, but it needs a qualified professional to link up to a new gas connection. Whilst he was here, he helped us get it out of the package and we positioned it exactly where we wanted it.
We're at the end of day 5 and Nicole is due home anytime now. It is 6:15 at the time of filming this in the evening, and we have laid all the tiles and we have grouted every line. The grout's only just been down in the last half an hour, so we need this to dry for another 3 hours really for it to be, for us to be able to walk on it, which isn't ideal timing, especially with my 2-year-old son coming home, but we're just gonna have to be really careful. So the long shot is we've completed the kitchen, but the hallway is still half completed. We haven't grouted the hallway at all, and only the end of the hallway needs to be completed with laying the tiles. That shouldn't take too long, but with the sealing and the grouting, it's at least another day's work. I feel like Reese and I have worked really hard this week. We've put in non-stop. We've put in some serious hours. We've been working from at least 8 till 8 most days. and we can both feel it, you know. So I mean, I just need to say thank you to you, Reese, for helping.
Thank you.
So they've been away for 5 days. I'm really missing my son, Sydney, and I just can't wait for him to get back. But I also am so happy to show Nicole the progress we've made in the kitchen. So the grout we've used on this project is still drying, but it's called Almond, and it's from Tilemaster's Adhesives Grout 3000. It's flexible, highly versatile, and it's actually a really nice grout to work with. So the colour is perfect for the tiles that we've got, which I mentioned earlier in the video. This is Menton limestone. It's 15mm thick, and honestly, I have never seen such a beautiful quality product, tile, natural stone in my life. It's stunning. I'm currently at the stage where it's being grouted and we've sponged it. It needs sponging again because there's a lot of haze on the surface. But once that's done, the kitchen is going to look amazing. So thanks again to Stone's Superstore for sponsoring this video and supplying the unbelievable material Menton limestone. It's transformed this kitchen, and I'm going to put a link below so you can check it out for yourself. Nicole did want me to add to this part of the video that she is extremely pregnant at the time of filming this, and she's been traveling a lot of the day, so she was really exhausted. So although it might not seem like she's super excited, she really loved the floor and she was so happy with the work that I'd done. Hey.
Nice. We've timed that one, haven't we, for sleep, go sleep, so it's not...
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
that's it.
grabbed it.
Yeah.
Is that the colour when it dries and this is all wet?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Takes 3 hours to
I
dry.
need walking on it 'cause I feel like it feels like there's movement. You know what I mean?
There's no movement in here.
It's nice, isn't it?
All plumbed in.
Yeah, keel over, carrying it there.
Just please.
Body test.
Can you walk on this?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Weird, isn't it?
Welcome back. This is hopefully the very last day of the floor laying project in the kitchen and hallway. So since I last made a video, it's been a week. That's because Nicole and Sydney came home and I haven't had the opportunity to do any more work on the floor because we've been living in the house. But now we're in a situation where Nicole and Sydney have left for the day. It's about 10 a.m. in the morning and I think I can finally finish. The last couple of things to do are seal the floor in the kitchen, grout the hallway, and lay some more tiles just in front of where the front door is, and obviously grout and seal that too. So there's a lot to get done today. I'm not expecting the family back until 7 p.m, but one of the things that I've really got to mention is the sealant that we're going to put on this floor really smells, and it needs to be done in a ventilated area. So I definitely haven't been able to do that with the family in the house. And the reason why it's so important to seal this floor is because it's natural stone and it can easily stain. So with that said, we've had one sealant on the kitchen floor already. That was to stop the grout getting into the surface of the limestone. We need a second sealant to seal all of it, including the grout, and then we need to seal it one more time for look. It says 3 times is the best, and that will give us a really hard wearing surface that's not going to be easily stained. And now this is a kitchen, so it's easy to drop food and things like that. And not only that, I have a toddler in the house, so it's obviously going to get really messy, and we've got a baby on the way, so it's in my best interest to make sure this is fully sealed. So I'm going to say less and just get on with it. Let's go. Best thing about not working alone, someone can make coffees whilst you're working. Absolutely perfection. That is the limestone tile project complete, and what a project it's been. I can't believe I didn't finish it in the 5 days, but that's okay. We eventually got it done and I am so pleased with the outcome. Massive thank you to the sponsor, Stone Superstore, but this is only one step in the journey of 100 which will be finishing this home renovation. Next up on this channel is going to be a high-end cabinet build for a butler's pantry in one of the alcoves in the kitchen, and I'm going to be meeting someone really special, very well known in the cabinet making industry, to help me with it. So until then, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.